Welcome back everyone to the video, and today we're going over my winners and losers from the week 2 of the NFL season so far. So if you haven't seen the first week, you can go check that out if you want to. Basically, the series is pretty self-explanatory. We're going over winners and losers, not literal winners and losers like teams specifically. There are some teams, but also some players I want to highlight, or even just an offense or a defense specifically, or even coaching as the year goes on. So this series will be once a week, every single Tuesday. Week picks every single Wednesday. Power rankings will be every single Tuesday, but only every 3 weeks. So week 3, week 6, week 9, week 12, and so on. And so yeah, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. If you guys going to enjoy today's video, be sure to subscribe down below. It's free. I really appreciate it. It helps out the channel a whole lot. To get into today, though, week 2 was a very interesting week. A lot of weird upsets that I honestly just did not get doing my picks this week. And so for the first winner I want to go over, though, is Kirk Cousins. And he did not play exceptionally well, really all game. But to be fair, neither did the Falcons as a whole. But that final 2-minute drill, huge statement win, really, for the Falcons there in Philadelphia. I think it actually said, according to Next Gen Stats, with 2 minutes left in the game, the Eagles had the ball in their own red zone. The Falcons had like a 0.7% chance of winning that game, and they won. So hats off to them. I hate the Eagles, or I hate the Falcons. So, and, I'm just being honest, just being real here. Really good win by them. Kirk Cousins on that final drive. Every throw was pretty much perfect. He made the right read every single time. It was good to see. I think last week people were pretty concerned with Kirk because the Achilles injury, coming off of that, he didn't look great. And then throughout the game last night, he wasn't great. But I think you can tell he's starting to get settled in. I think it's a good sign for the Falcons. Big win for them on the road there. So yeah, Kirk Cousins specifically, definitely a week 2 winner for at least me. And also, to be clear, there's probably some that I'm just not gonna name. So be sure to comment down below who you guys have for your winners and losers of the week, because I can't cover all of them. We're doing 4 for each for this video. Next, I chose the Cardinals, and you could say the Cardinals offense. You could say Marvin Harrison Jr. specifically. I mean, he had the exceptional game he did. 4 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. I believe he did all that in the first quarter. I don't think he actually did much after that. It was just a unreal first quarter for him after having a very quiet game in week 1. So huge from him. But the Cardinals as a whole, Kyler Murray especially, I think he became the second player ever to have a certain amount of passing yards and rushing yards and perfect passer rating is what I heard. And they sent his jersey and game ball to the Hall of Fame Museum, I think. So that's pretty cool. Congrats to him. But yeah, Cardinals, big win over the Rams, even defensively. And look, you can say that the Rams were down Puka Nacua, and then also Cooper Kupp goes down as well in that game. But regardless of that, the Cardinals played a really, really clean football game. It's a big win for them. I had to include them for a weekly winner. And then next is going to be the Raiders. And this was one of the bigger upsets of the week. Probably not the biggest, but definitely one of the bigger ones. And, they go in there and things are pretty slow. I think for a large part of the game, I think people, especially Ravens fans, were kind of assuming the Ravens would pick it up and kind of, distance themselves at some point in the game. But it just never really happened. The Raiders played the Ravens pretty well, honestly, the entire game, kept it close. Fourth quarter, I believe they went down either 7 or 10, but again, they made up for that. Gardner Minshew, he's just one of those guys that he's going to get these wins. It may not be consistent throughout the entire season, but he's going to pull games like this off, and it's really fun to watch when he does, unless you're on the other side of it, of course. So yeah, Raiders as a whole, great win for them. Ravens go to 0-2, bit of a surprise there for sure. So Raiders, though, definitely. And also, picture Gardner Minshew. This picture is just so odd, but kind of fun. I just had to use it. Now, the final winner is not the Saints. And I want to be clear. I made the Saints a winner last week, the way they killed the Panthers. I didn't realize they were going to do the same thing as the Cowboys. So obviously, this week is a bigger win because it's a much better opponent, but I didn't want to do them twice in a row. So it kind of sucks. Yes, Saints clearly one of the biggest winners this past week, biggest upset of the week. So just pretend I included them on this, even though I didn't. But it's I don't want to include a team I just used last week. So again, hats off to them though. Great win over the Cowboys. But the final winner I have is Aiden Hutchinson, who was actually part of the losing team, but he had 4.5 sacks. I think it was 5, and they corrected it to 4.5. But unreal game from him. I believe it's a career high in sacks for him in a single game. Tackles for loss. pressures on the quarterback. Just crazy game from him. Lions fall short, but I just could not pass up a defensive end getting 4.5 sacks in a single game. I think he did in one quarter as well, so or at least 3 of those in one quarter. So crazy game from him. Hutchinson is just taking step after step after step as the years go on. Now it seems like only in year 3, and he looks to already be even better than last year. So very cool for him. Those are my 4 weekly winners. Again, there's a lot. You could say the Vikings, the way they upset the 49ers. You could say the Saints. You could say, I'm sure there's someone else I'm probably forgetting there too. But yeah, that's it for this week's winners at least. And for the losers, we're going to start with the Cowboys. That was a bad game. It was a bad game. And here's the thing. Even if like people like to say, oh, the Saints, like they're going to come back down to earth in a few weeks, or oh, they're getting lucky, or if you're on the other side of it and think that they are just legitimately good, it doesn't really matter which you believe because the Cowboys just played poorly this past week. I mean, whether the Saints are getting lucky, whether they really are this good, whether or not they're going to burn out, they just dominated the Cowboys, and the Cowboys didn't do anything about it. Dak did not play well. The defense did not play well. Couldn't get anything going on offense. Great, 65-yard touchdown for CeeDee Lamb, so that was really cool for them, but that was basically their biggest highlight of the game. Other than that, it was very one-sided. Could not slow down Derek Carr and the Saints offense. I never thought I'd actually say that sentence, but huge props to them. Seriously, they are looking next to unbeatable right now. So, again, I did not think that Clint Kubiak could really turn around that offense as much as they have, or as much as he has. But yeah, it looks to be one of the best in the league right now. We'll see how long it can last, but at least for right now, it is looking real good for them. And then next, I had to include Will Levis. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if anyone knows what he's doing. You go back to week 1, and he literally throws the ball away like on a pick six. You can see him there. That goofy picture of him now, like literally watching the guy run the interception back for a touchdown with his hands on his head. And then he decides that was so stupid, he should do it again this week. As he's falling, pitches the ball backwards, the running back doesn't catch it, and it's a turnover. Like, it's so mind-boggling to watch because it's kind of like watching Mahomes and Josh Allen, but if they were, like, Walmart employee level bad, because, like, it's kind of like those off-script things they do where it's like, they kind of throw it like this or, stuff like that. But Will Levis isn't really coming that close to pulling it off. It just looks like he has no idea what he's doing. He's freaking out and just throwing the ball away. It's really stupid. It cost them points last week. It cost them points this week. And both of those losses, it was within like one score. Like it could have literally changed the game. They could be 2-0 right now. So yeah, really, really bad. Not sure what he's doing. It sounds like the head coach, Brian Callahan, is also just as perplexed as to why Will Levis is doing that. So yes, definitely a weekly loser. He's got to stop doing whatever Tom and Jerry cartoon-esque play he's doing. And then the next loser is actually going to be the Colts offense. I think it was really, really disappointing. Week 1 with the Texans, you have Richardson really airing it out, going after the deep ball, and it was working, very well against Houston. And I think, now you go into Green Bay, they're down Jordan Love. It's one of those games where you can really get a big statement win with, one of their best guys in offense down, being their quarterback. And they just couldn't get anything going. It was very flat, very just kind of just bad. To put it shortly, it was just bad. I think a few times I saw where Richardson did try and push the ball a bit more, it was intercepted. I think this is the reality of Anthony Richardson unless he gets things going, because some games is going to be incredible, some games is going to be this. And if he can pin down the consistency of his good games, he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. But that's the issue with him. You don't know. It's really a mixed bag every single week what you're going to get from him. This is one of those weeks where you could have capitalized on a weak team and you just didn't. So again, Packers defense isn't bad, but it was a game that Colts definitely should have won. So a bit disappointing for that offense. They're a weekly loser. And then finally we have the Giants. I believe they're the first team ever to score 3 touchdowns and allow 0 touchdowns and lose the game. Not even sure how you managed to do that, to be honest, but you scored 18 points. I believe their kicker got hurt, so they had to go for 2 each time. Never got it, so 6, 12, 18. 3 touchdowns, so they had 18 points. Washington had 21, 7 made field goals, never scored a touchdown, and they won. Malik Neighbors played great. That's like the big highlight. He could literally probably come close to leading the NFL in targets at this rate. He had like close to 20 or 14 or 15. I'm not sure what it was, but it was a lot. He played really well, dropped a very crucial fourth down play though. And again, you can't lose a game while allowing 0 touchdowns. You just can't do that. Even if they did get 21 points off kicks like they did, if you are scoring touchdowns and you are, putting those points up, you can't lose to someone that's not putting any touchdowns up. Defense had to step up. They just didn't. Not sure what's going on. I'll take a closer look. I'll have to take a closer look at what's going on there, in the coming weeks and just see like what the Giants defense is looking like. I can't do it all at once. I have to do it over a period of time. But again, doesn't look great. Daniel Jones looks to be just as bad as everybody kind of feared for this year. It's going to be probably a long season for Giants fans. I would say at least 0-9, honestly, to start. 0-9, 0-10. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week's, though, of weekly winners and losers. Let me know down below anyone you think that, was even more of a winner or even more of a loser. I appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to subscribe down below. It is free. It takes a second. Leave a like. I would appreciate that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.